Hey folks, it is now officially the morning of my Pacific Crest Trail through hike. It's about 6:30. I'll be hitting the trail in a few hours. And I just wanted to take one last moment to do a gear shakedown, go through all the gear that I'll be bringing on the trail. This is right before I'm going to be actually stuffing it all inside the bag for real. So yeah, let's go. We're going to start with my big 4 gear items. That's backpack, sleeping pad, sleeping bag, and shelter. So right here we have my pack. This is an Osprey Exos 48. I've got the large size. I'm 6'3", so having a larger frame is useful for me. That actually increases the capacity also up to 51 liters, I think, something like that. This pack is not a place where I splurged. I've had it for about 5 months probably. It only costs $180, which is about the third of the cost of some of the more expensive high-end ones from ULA, Z-Packs, Hyperlite Mountain Gear, etc. But I really like it so far. It's still quite light and packs well, has all sorts of nice pockets and all the things you look for. I have taken the brain off of the top because that was extra weight and extra capacity I did not need. Then right here we have my sleeping pad. This is a Thermarest Neo Light Air. It has a really high R value, which is the insulation value, and is also really light and durable. I actually only got this about a week ago, but I've slept several nights on it so far, and I really like it, so excited to trail test it. This is my sleeping bag, currently stuffed inside a 13-liter Ultrasil Sea to Summit stuff sack. It is a Big Agnes Bellyache 17 sleeping bag. That's down, water-resistant down, and I've used this now for about almost a full year. I've slept probably 180 nights in it so far, maybe a little less, 150, but gotten a lot of use out of it. Slightly concerned that it will maybe not be equal to the test when I get into the Sierras and some of the colder parts on the trail since the insulation's gone down, but I gave it a good wash and let the down kind of refluff back at home before coming out here, so I'm hoping it's ready to roll. But I do love the bag regardless, so I'm excited to use it. Going over here, this is my shelter. This is a Z-Packs duplex tent. This was one area where I really, I'll say, splurged a little bit. It's a dynamic Cuban fiber tent, so crazy light, 20 ounces total, 21 ounces. It's pitched using my trekking poles, which also obviously double purpose for trekking poles, and is waterproof, holds up really well in high wind. I've slept probably 30 or 40 nights in this guy already, so I know I trust it quite a bit. I'll be staking it down using these MSR mini groundhog stakes. I've got 7 of them. I only need 6, but I've got 1 as a spare in case the stake bends, and also I'll use that spare one for digging my cat holes. So moving down to shoes, I've got Crocs. These are a pair of just regular size 12 orange Crocs, standard issue. They're really light, waterproof. I'm going to use them as my camp shoes, so when I get into camp at night, I'll just take off my beaten up feet out of the trail runners and slide them into my nice clean camp socks, and then slide those besocked feet into these Crocs. They'll be strapped to my pack for most of the day while walking. These are my actual trail runners. These are a pair of Brooks Cascadia 11s with the Gore-Tex lining. I've got some Superfeet green insoles inside of there just for some extra support. These guys, you can kind of tell, are already quite well worn. I've used them for 8 or 9 months already, and they've gotten quite a bit of good use, but they're holding up fine even after a lot of really heavy use so far, so I'm hoping that bodes well for my choice of using them along the trail. I've actually already bought my second pair that I'll have my family reship to me when these guys wear out, but for now excited to hit the trail in them. I've got these Dirty Girl gaiters. Gaiters are just things that you slide up over your ankles above the shoe so that no pebbles, sand, whatever else can get in. You can see on the back of my shoes here I've attached Velcro ends, which these attach to the back of these gaiters attached to there, and then this little red hook attaches into your laces, and that way it is secured on your foot and no funny business happens with getting stuff in the bottom of your shoe, because that's no fun while hiking. Then moving down to my water system, I'm going to be using smart water bottles. Currently it actually has the real smart water with a little, whatever the electrolyte capacity is, but that'll be a little extra boost on my first day of walking, but from there I'll just be filling them up regularly with water I find on the trail in streams, lakes, ponds, that kind of thing. I will be using these because they're super light, but also the plastic's surprisingly durable, and the tall, slender design allows them to fit into the side pockets of my pack quite easily, and that makes it easy to pull out and hydrate while on the go. These are each 1 liter. I've got the 2-liter bag for a Sawyer Squeeze water filtration system. I'm not actually using the Sawyer Squeeze water filtration system, but the bag is really light and has high capacity and folds up into itself easily when you don't have water in it. So I borrowed this from the UVA Outdoors Club, so shout out to them. Thanks for the borrow and letting me take it out for a lot longer than the typical period. Also, these 2 1-liter platypus bladders, these are going to increase my capacity up to 6 liters for some of the longer stretches. When I get up to the really long stretches, I think there's one up in Northern California that's 32 miles without water. I'll be getting a couple extra smart water bottles for that journey, so I can go up to 8 liters or something like that total. But water's heavy, so no need to carry more than you need. I also have my sterilization system right here. This is a system called Aquamira. It's just chlorine dioxide. Comes in 2 different parts, part A and part B, as you can see. Put 7 drops of each into this cap that's on the white one. Let it mix for a minute or 2, and then dump that mixture into your water, and then let it sit for 15 minutes, and then it's totally safe to drink. I'll be using my bandana right over here as a physical filtration system. So that's how I will make sure that particulate, sediment, that kind of thing doesn't get into my water. And then once it's in there, sediment free, I will then put this in to kill any protist, bacteria, etc. Oh, just so I don't gloss over the trekking poles. These are a pair of REI brand National Park Service Centennial. So they're kind of like a little special edition one, but it's their Traverse brand. So they're fine. I've used them a lot. Not my favorite, but if these break, I'll probably get Black Diamonds, but for now, these are doing the trick. Here is my hygiene setup. So I've got some New Zealand wool for some blister protection. So if I get a hot spot I'll tear off a little piece of that, stick it between my sock and my foot, and keep it there to provide a cushion, a frictionless zone until that hot spot dissipates. I've got some multivitamins, roughly 2 weeks worth, ibuprofen, floss, hand sanitizer, a comb, tweezers, and then my toothbrush and toothpaste are actually over by the sink right now in the hotel room. Might as well go get them. As you can see, I decided to do the classic lop off that back half of your toothbrush. It's not worth its weight, so get rid of it. And then I've got toilet paper, obviously a key move. Like I said, I'll be digging my cat holes with the tent stakes, so that's how that will work. Over here I have just kind of some utility items, essentials. I've got a little mini sewing kit with a little bit of thread and 2 needles. That's for, well, one, frankly, popping blisters, and also for patching up little holes in jackets that might come. I've got 2 spare hair ties, got one on my head as well. I've got a bigger headband, I've got a CRKT utility knife, I've got my license, debit card, credit card, a little bit of cash, Bic lighter, and a whistle. Then here I have what I'll be eating with. So I'm actually going stoveless on the trail. So that means I'll be eating all my food either as food items that don't need to be cooked or soaked in water or anything at all, or I'll be cold soaking food. So things like couscous or oatmeal, you can just put in a container with cold water, let it sit for a much longer period of time than with hot water, and then it will soak it up regardless. So this is my re-soaking container. It's just a repurposed sorbet canister. It's a pretty durable plastic with a screw top lid, 1 pint, so should work great. And then I have a long-handled titanium spork from Sea to Summit, which is super light and awesome. And then I'll do my electronics before going to close. So I have a Anker 13,000 mega ampere hour battery. It's a little heavy, but it was pretty cheap and holds 4.7 full iPhone charges, so that's rad. I've got a pair of earbuds, Apple wall charger and lightning cable, Garmin InReach Plus. This is a GPS navigator and also satellite communicator, so I can get emergency communications from my parents. If I hear about law schools, etc., they can let me know. And also, this is a way that I can send an SOS in case something crazy happens. It's got a little SOS button on the side there. This piece of gear is a little heavy, but it's really useful in worst case scenario situations, and also making sure you don't go off trail. So I decided it was worth the pack weight. I've got a Black Diamond Storm headlamp with 4 spare AAA batteries. I've got a little micro USB to USB charger that is for both my portable battery and also for the Garmin. And then moving over here, I'll talk about clothes a little bit. Well, actually, these two escaped my general utility items. This is a pack cover from Osprey. I'm doing both a pack cover, so if it rains, I can throw this over my pack and it will prevent most of the rain from getting in. And I'm also doing redundancy. Any core item I have is also in a waterproof stuff sack. So sleeping bag, my clothes will be going in this blue stuff sack, which is waterproof. My food is in this giant green stuff sack right now, which is also waterproof. So just redundancy for your important items is really, really key. And then I also have a cheap umbrella that I bought off Amazon. This is both for sun protection in the desert, where I'll be using it as a parasol essentially, and then also for the rainier parts of the trail up north. It's obviously a pretty key move. Even if you have a rain jacket, it just kind of sucks to be rained on all the time. So having a very light umbrella is useful. And then here I have my food bag. It's currently stuffed to the brim with 7 days worth of food. I may have over-indexed a little bit on food, but it's better to, kind of have over-prepared myself in terms of how many calories I need per day in the beginning, and then as if I find that I don't need quite so many as I go on the trail, I can reduce. But better safe than sorry, and really rather not be hiking hungry than hiking hungry. So, and it's in a 15-liter Outdoor Research waterproof stuff sack. This is my little spice kit. It's got just some multi-seasoning, peanut butter, and olive oil in there. A little underused. I might find some other things that I can put in there, but for now that's that, and that's a 2.5-liter Sea to Summit stuff sack. I've got this Smart Wool Merino wool beanie. Really comfortable, allows my man bun to fit up inside while over top, which is something that I was really looking for in a cap, so I love this guy. Wicks away moisture, is super warm, really light. I've got my UV Outdoors Club buff, rep that Outdoors Club merchandise. It's sweet, I've used it for a long time. That's for sun protection, wind protection, sun protection, you name it. I've got my bandana, which I will wear in addition to using it as a physical water filter. I've got 3 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of hiking socks. This is actually not a pair of socks. This is a pair of inexpensive synthetic gloves I bought off Amazon. These are my 2 pairs of hiking socks. They're both darn tough socks, ankle height. I will alternate these by day to figure out, or not to figure out, but just alternate which one I wear so that one pair doesn't get too gross. And then I also have this pair of slightly fluffier REI camp socks. We'll never hike in these guys. It'll just be when I get into camp, kind of a ritualistic reward of the day is taking off your trail runners and your dirty hiking socks and sliding your feet into these nice, cozy, warm, clean camp socks, and then putting on my much more comfortable Crocs. Then going down, these are my undergarments. I've got a pair of long johns, Smart Wool long johns. Really warm, really light. Wool is just always an amazing material to have clothes on when you're in the outdoors. I've got a pair of synthetic ex officio boxers. These guys block scent extremely well, are really comfortable. I've never had issues chafing while using them, and I've used them quite a bit. I've owned these for about a year. I have a pair of Patagonia Houdini pants. These are wind pants. They're insanely light, 3.3 ounces, and are, when paired with the long johns, are actually an extremely warm pant combo. So, and they're also a little bit rain resistant. So if it's just sprinkling, they'll keep some of the rain off, but they don't do much in a heavier rain. So these are my shorts. It's a pair of actually women's Patagonia board shorts that I bought at Goodwill 3 years ago. I don't know, something like that. But they're my favorite pair of shorts. That actually, I love the women's cut. It flares out a little bit and is a half-inch shorter inseam than the male equivalent. But yeah, those are going to be my go-to hiking shorts. Then I've got this Tesla base layer. I've had this for several years. I actually don't even know the brand Tesla, but I love this base layer, and it's really warm and synthetic, so it's going to do the trick. This is my hiking shirt right here. It is a actually recent addition to the gear list. I bought this yesterday at REI in LA. Its basic purpose is to stop sun from hitting my arms while hiking in the desert. Because originally I was going to be hiking with a short sleeve synthetic marmot shirt. But this guy is really breathable, covers my entire body, has a collar that I can kind of pop up to block sun on my neck, in addition to the buff or bandana or however I'm blocking sun from the neck. I'm not carrying any sunscreen, just because the whole idea is that it's much better to cover yourself physically with a fabric or something than to use a sunscreen, especially if you're such a long period of time being exposed. So this is something I'm really excited about. I tried it on, wore it for a lot of yesterday, and loved it. So last two items, I believe, are going to be my puffy jacket. This is my Patagonia ultralight down. I love it to death. I've owned it for about 8 months. Use it all the time. It's currently stuffed into the chest pocket, which is about how small it can stuff down to. It's really warm, weighs only 8 ounces, and is kind of an invaluable part of my kit when I go anywhere. And then last piece is going to be this guy right here. This is a Outdoor Research Helium 2 rain jacket, weighs 7 or 8 ounces, also stuffs into its own pocket. It fits really well. It's a really comfortable rain jacket, and most importantly, is excellent at keeping the water off you when you're wearing it. So this is my total kit. I appreciate you watching this video. It not only serves as a gear shakedown, so this is going to be my kit starting off. I'm sure it's going to change pretty drastically over the course of the trail, and that's kind of the beauty of it, is that all these things are adaptable. Never want to succumb to sunk cost fallacy and think I already bought it and I'm carrying it. Why not carry more? No shame in shipping things home. Oh, actually, I did forget something. This is my hat. Just a standard issue baseball cap kind of thing. I think it's actually celebrating the National Park Centennial also. It's got it from REI, and then a pair of knockoff sunglasses I bought in Oman. So hoping these guys hold up even though they're knockoff. But anyway, yeah, and so I'm excited to kind of see how this overall gear allotment changes, and what I end up deciding I love, really need, and what I don't need. So this will also serve as my sort of first vlog entry, so I'll be hopefully posting a vlog entry or two every time I get into a town to resupply. That'll be roughly once every 6 or 7 days, kind of every 100, 120 miles or so. Just depends on the section, and that's when I'll have connectivity and upload any vlogs I've done while hiking. So thank you guys so much for listening. Look forward to updating more in days to come. Bye.